We're inside the Coliseo de Ciudad Deportivo, a classic building completed in the 1950s, 1957 to be precise, 15,000 seats, not quite 15,000 people in there at the moment, but it's filling up nicely for the visit of Puerto Rico. Here's the schedule for game day 4. The United States will play the Bahamas at 7:10 local time, but at 6 o'clock local time here in Havana, Cuba welcome Puerto Rico in a crucial matchup. If Cuba get the win, could really put some separation between them and Puerto Rico in terms of qualification. Here are those standings. The United States and Cuba with a 2-1 record. Puerto Rico and the Bahamas with a 1-2 record. Getting into the individual player introductions, Puerto Rico introduced to the crowd. Disappointing performance, not the fact that they lost to the United States in the game day 3 clash, but disappointing performance for Puerto Rico. Really never were competitive in the game, so they've got to bounce back. Young team for Puerto Rico. A lot of changes, a lot of transition. What their objective is qualification, and at the moment they're not really there. Puerto Rico now being introduced, and while Puerto Rico were disappointing against the United States, Cuba were impressive, getting the win in the second game, getting the win over the Bahamas, have a 2-1 record, and will really take a huge step towards the finals of the AmeriCup in Nicaragua next summer.
25 Alfonso Plumer, 28 Ismael Romero, 41 Arnaldo Toro, head coach Carlos Gonzalez, assistant coach Wilman Huscanning.
So we're just going to have the national anthems of both countries. We'll be back to talk about how this game's going to go, how Puerto Rico can bounce back after those, and we'll speak to you again after the national anthem.
Please stand for the national anthem of Cuba. Les pedimos a todos se pongan de pie para escuchar las notas del himno nacional de Cuba. Rico. Les pedimos por favor mantenerse de pie para escuchar las notas del himno nacional de Puerto Rico. We welcome teams to exchange gifts and greet each other.
Wow. There's nothing like national anthems ahead of national team basketball. Hair on the back of the neck stands up. Then the exchange of mementos at the halfway line. Just before, we're going to get a look at the 3 officials, the 3rd team on the floor. Their teamwork, as always, as important as the 2 teams facing off in this game day 4 action. The crew chief, Mr. Andreas Bartel from Uruguay, Cristiana Dominguez from Mexico, and Kevin Lee from Canada take charge of this game day 4 clash. As we said, good win for Cuba over the Bahamas. Everybody contributed. 10 players saw floor time, and it was just solid. Never really felt as though they were going to lose the game, although they could never break the game open. The starting lineup for Cuba has Yonki Mencia in the back. He's done a really super job, but Pedro Bombimbo, who really did stand out in the win over the United States, and Howard St. Rules, the vastly experienced player that spent most of his professional career across in Europe. Head coach Onel Planas, always a pressurized job, the Cuban job. Expectations are high, and he is really delivering performances at the moment in these qualification groups. 3 teams will qualify through these qualification groups that take place in the 3 competition windows. The Puerto Rican starting lineup is the same lineup that started the game against the United States. Tajo Fernandez really does an excellent job at the point. And turnovers never in their issue. Their firepower was short. They came up in terms of shooting percentages way under what you'd expect the Puerto Rican national team to deliver in the loss to the United States. And it was more just the physical fact that they didn't compete. Coach Carlos Gonzalez, I'm sure he's going to have talked about that before they go into this tie, which a win here would really give them a real advantage going into the last 2 games, as they play both of those games at home. And Cuba will be on the road. The Bahamas will be a little, well, they hope to be a little stronger, but this is a tough group. United States, you would expect to win the group, but the other 3 countries are all fighting for those 2 extra slots. So Cuba could do themselves a big favor by getting the win if in this home facility with the fans, and they can close off this competition window with 2 wins. That will be an amazing place for them to be, and 1 foot in the qualification slots for AmeriCup in 2025. Nicaragua beckons, and that's where they want to punch their ticket for. Puerto Rico just looked very disjointed in the loss to the United States. Alfonso Plummer has made the trek from Europe to try and bolster the resources. Plays his basketball at Ulm. Really made a contribution to Paris in the Europe Cup last season. The Tissot countdown to tip off, 1 minute before we'll jump it up here in Havana. What Cuba have managed to do in the games that they have been successful is to keep control of the basketball. Their turnovers have been kept to a manageable number, but they will push the tempo. Good athletes will look to run. Puerto Rico have not been able to control tempo. If they can control tempo in this game, they have a real shot at it. And as I say, the impact of them winning the game, with the 2 home games coming in the last competition window in February, should mean that they would also punch their ticket into Nicaragua. The dilemma for both these countries is the Bahamas, who are on a real roll at the moment, having made the Olympic qualifying tournament ahead of Paris. Came up 1 game short of actually making it to the Olympic Games. If they get that momentum going again, even without some of their NBA players, that could be a real handful for both Puerto Rico and Cuba. So a win here will have huge impact for both countries. Well, welcome to Havana. Cuba in the blue, Puerto Rico in the white. They'll have a first look at it in the half court. Fernandez moves it to the wing. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll be on the sideline. 9 seconds left on the possession. Fernandez drops it inside. Little soft touch. The floater's no good. Offensive rebound just owned. Whistle on the play. Ishmael Romero just did a nice job keeping it alive. Then powers up, draws the contact, goes to the free throw line, and Puerto Rico have an opportunity to open it up from the charity stripe. Romero has a journey, let's say. It's a journey on the free throw line. Only shoots 50% from the line. It's not the smoothest looking action you're ever going to see. It's just he gets there a lot because of his physicality on the glass. Comes up empty with the 0 for 2. Casero will get Cuba into the half court. They're going to look to go inside. Mencia trying to go to work. Looks to go to the baseline. Going up strong, but can't control it. Ball goes out of bounds, and both teams stuttering at the start. 2 turnovers. Fernandez, only 178. Quick though, gets it into the half court. Fernandez is going to come down back off the down screen. Will receive it. Take the ball screen, looks to turn the corner, gets his feet set, goes inside out. The open 3 is short. Huge board. Bombino is just dominant on the inside. Drops it down low, reverse layup, gets the roll. And Pedro Bombino ticks it over for Cuba, much to the delight of a growing number of fans. Fernandez, little slip, comes off the ball screen, looks to get his feet set, fires up. The 3 is no good. And it's similar for Puerto Rico. There's no flow. Bino again goes up, draws the contact, will go to the free throw line. Bombino, 69% across this season so far from the free throw line. Knocks down the second. Again, this tempo for Puerto Rico is just a little slow. I want to try and speed it up a little bit, get some option going and attack it. Nice move to the middle. That's better. Easy on the far side of the ring is good. And Wheeler, strong first step. Casero will turn down the early option. And the 3 is just stroked. Just struggling to really turn the defense. Cuba come up with it again, chance to run, have numbers. On the end of the break, they blow the layup. Chance for Puerto Rico to go the other way. They need some easy options. Get away with a walk. Messi running back the other way. Cuba with opportunity. Little floater upstairs for the throwdown. And Bombino throws it down hard. 5 points personal for the 24-year-old. And that yet another fumble Whistle on the play. Looked uncomfortable, looked like one of those where Mencia's leg was underneath. There's the replay. Great athlete. Puerto Rico, second step, throw that one down. Wheeler again ticks it over. Only 22, Wheeler, in the G League at Texas. 14 points a game at 64% in that G League. Defensive rebound pulled in by Arnaldo Toro. Fernandez down the lane, gets it knocked away, decides to fight for it, can't get it. Cuba come up with it, chance to run. Super little bounce pass, the open three on the ball reversal is no good. Defensive rebound is owned. And Wheeler again comes up with a positive stat. Wheeler, as the ball gets moved to the second side, puts it on the floor, tries to use the screen, get advantage, fumbles it in the lane. Cuba will have an opportunity to run again. They've got to start to complete. Super cut, great finish. And Pedro Bombino just getting it done. He's a handful. Ball's knocked away and another turnover. Mencia will advance it, just about gets control of it. Bombino slips the screen, will come back and reposition. Sarah can't get it to drop, chases down his own rebound and works so hard to get it. And recycles, they get a 24 because of the change of possession. Sanrus. Bombino, little shovel pass, foul call. And Bombino turns provider. And it's a dominant 10-4 start for Puerto Rico, for Cuba. Puerto Rico struggling to get a foothold in this one. Cuba getting what they want and how they want it. Yoenki Mencia on the free throw line. Just got to spend some time with the basketball and not throw it away. Well, game day 4 at the moment, turning into a little bit of a nightmare for Puerto Rico. Plenty of time for them to just re-establish a little bit of control. Sanros gets another reposition, handles it, looks inside, goes to the corner. Going to try and clear that side. Mencia, little fadeaway on the inside, doesn't get the roll. Complete absence of Cuba on the offensive glass. And yet another turnover. 2-on-1 break. San rolls off the glass for 2. Mencia gets the 2, timeout, Puerto Rico. It's only a matter of time, they had to call it. A lot to talk about for Puerto Rico. Man, Coach Gonzalez. Let's try and take a listen to the Puerto Rico timeout.
Alex, Willie, screen, Arnaldo, para sacar a Capo. Capo, you get the entry. You go to the same side. Change, after that, Arnaldo, ping down, Alex, and then we go high screen again. We're going to finish like that. After the pick, Alex go to the ball, pre-screen, Capo, Dandia, Willie already in this side. Let's go.
Already 7 turnovers for Puerto Rico. There's too much of this unopposed. Numerical advantage break, 2-on-1. They've done a really good job finishing plays at the moment, Cuba. Lead this 13-4 with 4 to go in quarter 1. Wide open with the lift from the weak side, buries it. Straight off the bench, Alexander Capas. In the scout report, it says he can shoot the ball. You cannot leave him with that much space. Howard Sonros gets inside, drops the little pass. Poor finish. And they can't complete the play. Marlon Diaz. Use the screen, great use of the screen, and then a nice finish with the left hand, using the body to protect it really well. Ivan Gandia. Garcia stops, fires up the 3, way short. If Puerto Rico can get Cuba into a half-court game, they look a little vulnerable. But they've got to be effective down this end of the floor. Morales, nowhere to go. Cuba with turnover again and have an advantage. 4-on-3 break. Far side of the ring for 2 is good for Mencia. When they get out and run, this Cuban national team looking impressive. And yet another turnover. They are just gifting possession. 8 turnovers already. Still 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. At this rate, it's 30 turnover game, but you've got to believe they're going to tighten up on how they control the ball. Dropped inside. Diaz. And travels. It's got really static that time, Cuba. Ball didn't get reversed. Everything was in front of the defense. Gandia will advance the basketball. Puerto Rico hit the second side. It's a little slow, but Morales moves it on. Gandia with his feet set, can't get it to drop. Capas on the glass, impact off the bench. Gets the 3, then gets the offensive rebound and the putback. Closes it to a 4-point game. Tough layup is missed. Tremendous effort on the glass. Rewarded. Mencia tries to cross it over, spins, wheels, deals, doesn't get the drop. Henchio. Pacquiao comes off the ball screen, looks to turn the corner, goes inside, has to step back. Just a little floater away. and drops it, cuts it to a 2-point game. Cuba want to talk it over with 1:09 to go in the first. And that's a great response from Puerto Rico after the timeout. Much more focused, being much more aggressive on the dribble, generating offense and sharing the basketball. They've closed it to a 2-point game, 1:09 to go in the first. Let's take a listen to Coach Planath in the timeout. Coaching in the game. Puerto Rico showed a 2-3 zone and forced a poor shot. Candia gets deep in the keyway, inside, outside, the extra pass, same spot. But Capos can't complete it and go back-to-backs. The 3 in transition is off and no rebounders at all for Cuba. It's a little bit up and down. Almost a turnover, just about safe. Candia has it. Looks to get into the hole, draws the defense, kicks to the 3 is no good. Whistle on the play. It's a rebound, defensive rebounding foul on Marlon Diaz. There's the push. As soon as you put your hands on your opponent, it does make it a little easier for the official to see that. Second team foul for Cuba. They still have the lead, but only 2 points, 15.4 seconds remaining. 1.4 second differential between game and possession. More than enough time for Puerto Rico to tie or even lead on the last shot of the first quarter. Off the stagger. To ball reverse, down the lane, big move, blocked. Foul called. Romero was definite with the move. That's the most important thing. When he went hard. Ishmael Romero. Oh for 2 on his first trip to the free throw line. It's a friendly roll from the ring here in Havana. Well, 1 for 2 from the line. 15-14, not 16-14. And that'll do it for the end of 1. Cuba came out really aggressively, opened out the 11-point lead, really led early. But after the timeout, Puerto Rico made some substitutions, changed the look. Gandia came at the point. They looked a little bit more secure and worked themselves back into this. So at the end of 1, Cuba have 15-14 advantage. Let's take a look at the best plays of the first quarter. And early doors, it was all blue. And we talked about Pedro Bombino before the start of the game. The 24 really came out and was impressive. Philip Wheeler was the only answer initially for Puerto Rico. And Cuba looked like they could get pretty much what they wanted with the basketball. Throwing alley-oops and getting out on the break. But Wheeler just ticked the scoreboard up enough. Bombino had 6 points early. They rotated him out, but he's going to be a factor as this game develops. But when this guy, even Candia, checked in, Puerto Rico became a different unit. Shared the ball really well. Alexander Capos followed up the three hit from deep with great work on the offensive glass. So we've got a ball game now. Start of the second quarter. Diaz penetrates, kick, stands still, set shot is good. And why wouldn't Bombino get the first 2 points of the second quarter? Just separated enough to have the time to get rid of the shot. Gandia puts up the tough one, doesn't get the roll. That's a rebound. Romero can't get it to drop. Will have to go to the free throw line again. Strokes the second. Goes 1 for 2 again, so he's living up to that 50% tag from the free throw line. Casero gets a little bump. Still on the play as Howard San Ross making the move to the middle. Playing with Murcia at the moment in Spain. Cuba will have it on the end line. Again, they drop it inside, wrapped it around. The open three on the ball reversal is no good. Garcia had a lot of time to get rid of it. Capos got a green light from the beyond the arc. Numbers down the floor again for Cuba. Foul on the play. They turn defense into offense really quickly. The point of transition, they're gone. Got the numerical advantage again on that one. 4 on 3 by the time the foul happened. Pacheco picks up the personal. Can't complete the second. Howard San Ross. You're just waiting for Puerto Rico to try and put some minutes of consistent play together. They've got right back in the game. They've gone a little, again, it's gone soft, a little sloppy at the start of the second quarter. Chero and Capos will sit. It's a good sign to get them up the floor, try and generate some energy with the defensive end. Cuba will advance it. Garcia. Again, it's really static. Got to try and move the basketball, move your teammate. Second move, have to put up the tough floater, gets the roll. Marlon Diaz working hard, and he had to work hard for the two. Gandia will look to reverse the basketball, turns it over, and again, 4-on-1 break here. And they get the benefit of the 4-on-1. Missed the initial shot. Pedro Bombino again adds to his stats, gets the offensive rebound and putback. And another turnover. Garcia's after it, gets it, lays it in. And Puerto Rico are going to take the timeout. When they turn the screw defensively, Cuba, this is a different game of basketball. Puerto Rico take the timeout with 7:30 in the half remaining. Let's take a listen. Yeah, they've turned it. It's just a turnover city. Inside, outside, they move the ball. Whistle on the play. They're going to call the charge, I believe. Cuba blow the chance to make it a double-digit lead. Let's take a look. Well, there is contact. Quickly followed by a reaching foul. Both teams on 3 team fouls with 7 minutes to go in the half. Chera Fernandez back in. Will take the Romero ball screen, gets to the elbow, throws to the pass to the corner for the 3 is good. Just get a little inside outside action, and Alfonso Plummer stroked it from 3. With all, he's literally shooting 51% from the three-point line over this current season. The early weeks and months of this early season, he is lighting it up. The tough 2 is good. Gonna love the way that Garcia gets some space, a little separation. Fernandez assesses, looks at his options, a little hesitation, gets to the elbow, no shot. Wheeler wheels, deals, just about comes back down with it. 4 seconds on the possession. It will stay. They're going to talk about it, the officials. I think it will stay with Puerto Rico. Maybe not. So yet another, if it doesn't stay with Puerto Rico, it's yet another turnover. Let's take a look. They've teed both up, which then means that'll cancel each other out, but they get the technical foul each. 4 seconds, gonna have to put this one up. The deep three hits nothing. Romero can't save it. A chance for Cuba to make this a double-digit lead. Crowd getting into it right now. Romero will step. Arnaldo Toro checks in. Pretty much like for like. Chacon gets it into the half court, needs a pass. Garcia, San Ross gives him an option. Little hesitation, nowhere to go. 4 on the clock, they have to take the three, it's no good. Casero couldn't complete. And Puerto Rico can't turn their defense into offense. San Ross makes them pay. Double-digit lead for Cuba. Puerto Rico on a little shaky run here. Fernandez gets in traffic, goes inside. The little jump hook is no good, and Cuba push again. Ambino off to San Ross, little give and go. They're going to call that offensive. Well, the defense was there. Jordan Citron put his body on the line, took the contact. Important. They've got to hang tough here. They've got to stay around. They cannot let this margin grow. Inside out, mid-range 2 is good. Citron, after taking the charge, puts down the mid-range jumper. His first 2 points of the night. San Ross has it. Wants the high post screen. A little hesitation, goes up off the glass, doesn't get it to drop. Chance for Puerto Rico going the other way. 3 at the end of transition is no good. Numerical advantage, get their own rebound. Take the tough one and kiss it off the window for 2. And Plummer starting to get going. It's 5 points personal for him. In the lane, foul on the plate. Mencia going up. Crowd love the spin. A little show time to get to the ring. Watch this, goes on the inside, protects it, gets fouled on the way up. Will go to the free throw line. Second one is good. Onel Planas. He's really doing a nice job with this Cuban national team program. Cuba with a win over the United States. It's a great, that sounds so good. Again, they turn the defense into offense. The three in transition is no good. Almost, they got in each other's way. Sam Ross has it, he's gonna have to bring it out. Foul on the play. Sam Ross will go to the free throw line as both teams are in the penalty. Chance to re-establish the double-digit lead. 3:41 to go in the half. Strokes the first. Well, if ever there was a legend of Puerto Rican basketball, it's a Barrera with the program. That's a huge addition in terms of passing on that experience and knowledge. He will not be enjoying this though. Down 10, 3:30 to go in the half. Five on the possession. Romero down the lane for two. Great patience. Super patience. Great pick and roll down the middle at the end of the shot clock. And crazy foul. Ball on the sideline. Sam Ross going nowhere. Reaching foul is going to send him to the free throw line. Well, if the Cuban head coach's job is a pressurized job, coaching the Puerto Rican national team is full of pressure. One of the 5 countries in the world where basketball is the #1 sport. Puerto Rico. The expectation of the population is enormous. The quick release on the three is no good for Plummer. And Cuba come the other way again and look to push early. The early two is no good. That's a rebound. Foul on the play. Mencia just hauled in the offensive glass. Got set, went up through the contact. He'll have to earn them from the free throw line. Just does his work early. Wasn't boxed out by Romero. So found an angle to get to the glass. Has an opportunity to extend this Cuban lead. In the half court, Puerto Rico. Morales moves it on. Fernandez, they've moved the ball here. They're on the third side. Romero tries to go to work, turns it over. Yet another turnover. Garcia with the pass. Whistle on the play. More free throws for Cuba. Now, first half turnovers for Puerto Rico. Mencia misses the first. The only saving grace for Puerto Rico is Cuba have not made the most of. They really are dominant at the moment, but missing free throws, not completing plays. Puerto Rico at some point will get a run, and at the moment the run will take them right back into the game. 2:16 remains in the first half. Mencia is on the free throw line. We're ready to go. Wow. Missed to the side. 70% free throw shooter. Yankee Mencia comes up empty and the margin remains at 11. Fernandez stops, fires up the three, count it. Well, we said they were going to get a run. This could be the beginning of it. Sanros has it. Attacks it, gets to the lane, needs a pass, finds a pass. Garcia answers the three with a three. Good movement, good spacing. Romero, who they're not going to guard on the perimeter at all. Fernandez moves it on. Copas hits the second side here. Now they go back to the middle. Spin back. Tough shot. Not tough enough to stop Alfonso Plummer filling it up. Gets it back to a single-digit margin. Garcia needs a pass. Goes upstairs. Too easy a pass, really. Super finish. Just found and angled in Mencia. Back-to-back threes for Tata Fernandez. Found his spot on the floor. Goes to 6 personal. And brings Puerto Rico back to within 8. Three is no good. Romero cleans up the mess. Fernandez pushes, but now stops. Takes a look at his options. There's about a 3-second differential between the possession and game clock. He's trying to use every second he can. Oh, he let the three go and drops it. Alfonso Plummer, no hesitation. Huge three at the end of, well, almost the end of the first half. Cuba take the timeout and their lead is just gone. Was double digits, now only 5. Chance for one last shot, they hope, going into the locker room. Let's take a listen. No fast break points for Puerto Rico. They're having to work hard for everything they get. But they are hanging around, 40-35 with seconds remaining in the half. Cuba with an opportunity. .4 seconds to go full court. All the way to the ring, and they can't get it to go. And that will do it. Although it looks like they may have called the foul. Referees and coach Gonzalez talking it over. Gonzalez is going to have a coach review, and it's going to burn his coach review with no time left on the clock at the end of the half. Again, apologies It's not really apology, explanation as opposed to apology. The referee's not mic'd up, so we can't get to hear the challenge and the official reviews. We can guess what they're looking at when we see the replays. Did he block this onto the backboard? Can't see there because you don't get the view of the glass. You're going to see from a view from here, you would hope. Tight, very, very tight. To me, it looks like it hit the backboard slightly before the block. Therefore, it's interference. It's very, very tight. Oh, did it get knocked? Yep, they're going to call it as basket good. Puerto Rico will have the ball on the baseline. Not quite sure how long exactly remains on the first half. Well, they've got 1.3 seconds up, or 0.7 second up now. You could throw it, and in the same action, tip it in as such, or push it in. So here we go, last play of the first half. And we've reached half-time. Get confirmation that Cuba are good value for their 42-35 advantage. Could have been more, but you got to give Puerto Rico the credit they deserve for really hanging tough and finding a way back into the game. So we're going to look at some stats for that first half. Well, Puerto Rico, when they get it down, are shooting good numbers. They're just not getting enough shots. Puerto Rico have the sway on the glass as well. Garcia's done incredibly well for Cuba. Bombino, as we thought, would be impressive. Plummer has shot the ball very well. Fernandez got going when he came back into the game. So it's evenly balanced. Let's take a look at the best plays of that second quarter. When they got out and run, they always got numbers down the floor, Cuba. Always got numbers. So if they missed the first shot, they got people on the glass. And they're not at all worried about shooting the three in transition. In fact, they're pretty good at it. But you've got to say, the way that Plummer shot the basketball, Wheeler got to the basket, the way that the backcourt looked better as the half progressed on. Romero's also giving them a real presence on the inside. So Puerto Rico right in this. Down 7, yes, but have shown flashes of how they can hang with this Cuban roster. Well, we're going to take a break now. Cuba have the advantage. Can they maintain it? Join us after the break to see if they can get the win. We'll see you shortly.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they'd do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin,
basketball
can bring everyone together.
Basketball for good.
Dancing around, it's a good chance and a put in there. Beautifully for Lindo.
After 7.5 minutes, but they get the offensive rebound off the back of it, and effectively they're still perfect from the field on every trip down the floor as Thomas Kennedy puts it in.
And penetration and kick again. And one strong to the finish, to the far side of the ring.
He does have the double-double. Oh my goodness! Fiondu Kabengele getting highlight reel high. Now this is where they want to pounce in transition. Oh my goodness! LJ Figueroa can fly.
Love this backcourt combination of him and Perotti. Oh, behind the back for the two. Guess who went baseline? Nicholas Martinez has got his office down there. 13 points personal.
Silverio Ruiz comes up with yet another steal. 3-on-1. Can they make the most of it? Touch pass Martinez. Oh my goodness. What a special projection.
Coraza waits patiently, long-range shot goes in, and it's been drained big time. Look at that. Whoa, a big statement score there for Cardozo, draining the big shot. And look what it means to him. Look what it means to these Brazilian players.
Extra pass. Oh, throw that one down. Martinez on the move with the flush.
Flings it back out. There's a good opportunity. It goes high, but it's not been put in. And of course, quick transition. Oh, reverse dunk time. Put it in. Cardozo. Bring it on. Panama through the paint. Oh, SWAT team in town. And it's Cardozo again. He is just on fire, isn't he? Well, it's dreamlike, isn't it? This man here, Cardozo, is just quality.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back to Havana. Going to get a look at the leading scorers of that first half. Game poised now. Puerto Rico right back in it. Let's take a look at those leading scorers. Well, welcome back inside the arena here in Havana. Game leaders for Cuba. Garcia has 12, San Ross has 6 rebounds, and Garcia with the 3 assists. They are an exciting team when they get out and run. Puerto Rico just got to get them in the half court a little bit more often and have got to deal with the turnover problem. 15 turnovers in the first half for Puerto Rico. One, it's not Puerto Rican basketball. They're normally far more efficient with the ball than that. But 15 turnovers, and Cuba have 17 points off the 15 turnovers, so it's a pretty decent return for Cuba. And that's an easy thing. Well, it's a relatively easy thing for Puerto Rico to fix. Just take care of the basketball. Easy to say, but they've just got to be more solid with it. Plummer leads their scorers with 10, and Romero has 8. Romero's done a really nice job. He's just got to give himself a little bit more offense, but 8 rebounds is impressive. Fernandez, when he came back for his second stint on the floor, was much more in control of things. First section on the floor, he looked a little bit tentative, and really did look so much better in the second part of that first half when he came back. Plummer has 10 points, 1 assist, 2 from 5 from beyond the arc. Really is doing a nice job in Germany, as I said during commentary, shooting 51% from the 3-point line, which is phenomenal, and could be a key for this Puerto Rican team in the second half if they can take care of the ball. Cuba have so many more field goal attempts. Six more field goal attempts for Cuba. As you get a look at the Courtside 1891 app, there's the QR code there. Download that from your normal source. Get all the information across all of these continental championships, live games, highlights, on demand, any feature. It's all there on that app. Just download that, as I say, from your normal source, and join us for the action across all of these continental championships. When you're on the road, you got the app, you can pick up all the action. You don't have to wait and till you get home. You can be mobile and you can be watching all the action. Well, the prize, if Cuba win this, will move them to 3-1. We get a lot of separation between them and the third place team, which will really bode well for their qualification. Fernandez will have a look at it for the first time in this second half. Gives it to Romero in the block. Romero got to go to work here. Got to be definite, dominant, goes up, gets the 2. Got to be more aggressive, confident, get up, go through that contact. San Ross will take the mid-court ball screen. Needs a pass. No tempo in the game at all at the start of the third. San Ross backs it out. 5 on the possession. Looks to get a little separation for the jump shot. Moves it on. Garcia with the mid-range is no good. Passive is an understatement. Baseline penetration is no good. The mess is cleared up by Toro. And Puerto Rico have gone almost twin tower-like here with Romero and Toro in the game together. Goes to the left hand, gets the finish, and it's all about Ishmael Romero at the start of this third quarter goes to 8 personal. Garcia gets to the foul line, goes upstairs, but Bombino does well to get the body control, get the 2. Just no tempo. The game's really being played quite slowly at the moment. Ball comes off the foot of the defense. Ball will stay with Puerto Rico. 11 seconds on the possession. I think they're going to go coach's challenge. Unless they're absolutely certain. Well, the referees are talking it over. Coach's challenge for Cuba. You only get the 1, and regardless whether you are correct or incorrect with that challenge, you do not get it back. So with 11 seconds on the shot clock, and this early in the third quarter, quite a big decision for Coach Planas. Well, you're going to have to see the floor to see if he kicked it out. Bombino gets a piece of it, and then it goes off. I'm not sure who, with that angle, who it goes off. Normally you go on the reaction of the players, but that's inconclusive too. It's taken a while. If it's not conclusive, the officials just need to stay with the original decision. There's the pass. From where I'm looking, it really does seem as though it should be a Puerto Rico basketball, but Pedro Bombino's reaction leads you to believe that he genuinely thinks he knocked it onto the foot of Arnaldo Tolo. Well, the camera from the baseline is inconclusive. We've already seen that. Can't believe they're going to make the decision from that view, because that's pretty inconclusive as well. Meanwhile, the officials still discuss it. A little bit. If it's taken this long, it must be inconclusive. No, they're staying where they were. Once it took that long, I couldn't see them changing the initial call. Then again, apologies for not being able to hear the officials. That's unfortunate. It's normally a real addition to the coverage when you can hear them discuss those decisions. Romero gets fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line. He's a big target, made a big hole. At the moment, he's only 2 for 6 from the free throw line. It is a journey for Ishmael Romero. Still playing his basketball in Puerto Rico. I mean, it doesn't look like a 50% free throw shot, but that's 2 for 7. And the journey doesn't get any more pleasant for him. He's just such an asset for this team, the way he works on the inside, fills space. But when push comes to shove, you're going to foul him because he's shooting 3 for 8 from the free throw line. Makes the second, though. 5-point game. Tito Casero gets it into the half court. Nice pass to the inside. Bambino goes off the glass for two. Just plays through the contact. Union in Argentina have a real asset in Pedro Bombino. Fernandez needs a pass, goes to the inside. Inside out, Wheeler has it. He thought he might have popped it. Plummer gets it back, puts it on the floor. Only 5 on the possession. He's going to have to step back. Gets a little separation, comes up short. Toro just owns the glass. Ball goes out of bounds and will stay with Puerto Rico. Watch out down the lane. They get the layup. I thought Toro was going to slam it. Just finishes it soft, gets the 2. Puerto Rico close it to a 4-point game. And with the tempo like this and no energy in the game, it's Puerto Rico is much more suited to the way they're playing at the moment. Sal Ross has it, looks in, drops it inside. Gets that relationship going with Garcia again. Inside, outside. The open 3 is no good. Garcia's on the glass. That's a rebound. Plummer runs down the floor, trying to kid people that he had it, but Ankeem Mencia just owned it. Just went to work on the glass. Sam Ross will inbound. Oh, what a finish. Leonardo Garcia just flashed from the weak side. Little bit of spin off the glass. Picks himself up off the floor. Goes to full team personal on 4 from 6. And has a chance off the 3-point play to re-establish the 7-point lead. And we'll get back to as we were at the half. Tough catch. Great timing on the pass, but still had so much to do. Fernandez gets just beat on the front cut and finds himself on the wrong side. Well, they've called the foul on Plummer. Garcia, 70%, just slightly better than that from the free throw line, completes the 3-point play. Alfonso Plummer just about beats the pressure. Fernandez gets his feet set, puts up the 3, fills it up. Really has found the stroke. Garcia in the lane, off the glass, doesn't get it to go. Bombino can't clean up the mess. Romero does and brings it. Fernandez. I hit Plummer on the ball reversal, comes up short. Foul on the play. Now the tempo is just slowed. Puerto Rico getting to the glass, doing all the work on the offensive balls early. And Arnaldo Toro finds himself on the free throw line. Coach Gonzalez going with the bigger lineup, really paying dividends at the moment. 4 down with the basketball on the free throw line, can make this a 2-point game. Just under 6.5 in the third remaining. If you're a Cuban fan right now, you're going to be a little worried because all the momentum and the tempo of the game is with Puerto Rico. And they're not turning the ball over. They're taking much better care of the basketball. They just can't make a 3 there. It's 2 from 1 from 2 from the line again. Really missing the opportunity. Sam Ross drops it inside. Bambino off the glass for 2. Straightforward pick and roll. Again, early, good tempo with it. Going the other way. Romero answers. Wow, he's having a game. Inside, outside to the 3. They turn it down, put it on the floor. Down to 5 on the possession. Should have taken the open look. Now they're going to have to create one. Mensah just fills it up. No time on the possession. Didn't rush. Got balanced. Knocked down the 3. Toro and Romero combine on the 3-point line. The 3 is no good. And Bombino again with another positive stat. Sam Ross has it taken away. He's going to call that unsportsmanlike. Sam Ross thought about it, tried to remove the arm, didn't. So just after getting a little momentum on the back of this 3, Puerto Rico are going to the free throw line and will have possession. Mencia and Garcia combining for 26 of Cuba's points. Bombino accounts for 17 as well, 8 from the floor. He's an asset. Well, Sam Ross with the unsportsmanlike foul after receiving the technical for the little scrap earlier in the first half is ejected. And Sam Ross, the 33-year-old with Murcia in the ACB in Spain. Well, there's the unsportsmanlike foul. Clear. Romero's on the free throw line, which is never the most confidence-fulfilling moment you'll ever have on a basketball court, but goes 1 for 2. And you've got to give him so much credit for the way he is playing at the moment. Just taking a load on his shoulders. Penetration, baseline, tough finish is no good. For Wheeler, they get it back, they go inside. Romero on the inside, and 1. Chance to close it to 2 again. 14 points personal for Romero. Would have had 20 if he'd have made a normal percentage from the free throw line. He's got a chance to make this a 2-point game from the line. Great decision. Romero filled the space underneath. Doesn't complete the 3-point play. Ball knocked away. Ball saved by Cuba. Cuba in the penalty with literally 5 minutes of the third quarter remaining. Reaching foul. Plummer picks up foul number 2. And Sear is the man to release the pressure. Got to get it out the corner. Want to open the floor out. Finger roll is no good. Great work on the glass. And why wouldn't you expect Pedro Bombino to do great work on the glass? More free throws for Puerto Rico. There's no flow here to the game. Puerto Rico are just hanging around here. They're playing tough. Can't quite get over the hump. Super cut. Can't finish the play. One man who can finish the play is that man, Pedro Bombino. Toro on the free throw line. Yet another miss. if you're a Puerto Rico basketball fan, please don't have nightmares over the 36% from the free-throw line in a 4-point game. It's just an absolute nightmare for them at the moment. Still 4:15 remaining in the third. Romero will rotate out. Chacon turns the corner to the inside. I'll just let you know that Bombino's missed his first shot of the night. Made the tough move with the left hand, couldn't get it to drop. Chance to run again for Cuba. And even that part of the game has got slower for them. They were so good in the first half. Garcia to the glass is blocked. And Puerto Rico going the other way. Fernandez will take the ball screen. Copas picks pops, doesn't get a look at it though. Wheeler's going to travel. Look for a little contact to spin on. Copas again. He's not the best athlete in the world, not the greatest leaper, but he's so long, times it really well. Still a 4-point game with 3 to go in the third. It feels like a game with a lot resting on it. That's when people are playing a little tentatively. Cacun has it, needs a pass, finds one. They drop it in high. Bambuna gets it up. Cacun lines it up for the three, is off. That'll be a Cuba basketball. Morales couldn't control it. Did enough to get it out of bounds, but without getting the rebound himself. They go long out of bounds. Chacon needs a pass, just about finds one. And so off the glass. They're going to wipe it off. So I think the foul was called. Bombino's all over the offensive boards. He just doesn't stop working. Foul called there, so there will be shots. I'm not sure, it might have gone in if he'd have left it, but that's not going to be an option right now. Mencia going up. Been stuck on 56-52 for a while. Mencia makes the first of the free throws. Howard San Ross's loss with the ejection could be a real factor if Puerto Rico hang around here. San Ross experience is something that they relied on if the situation is tough. 2:47 remain in the third quarter. 13 points personal to Yoanqui Mencia. Steps back, doesn't get the two to drop. Fernandez. Garcia needs a pass, will skip it. Nice penetration, kick to the three is no good. Ball goes out of bounds, and with 2:06 remaining, Puerto Rico have an opportunity to eat into the 6-point lead. Rotations coming in off the Cuban bench. Casero will come in, and off the Puerto Rican bench, Pachero will come in and Plummer will sit. Cesaro comes in and Gacon sits off the Cuban bench. Romero back in. Romero wants a touch, deep cut, catch. Looks to go to the middle, comes out, baseline, far side of the ring, can't finish. Chance for Cuba to run. Numbers down the floor again for Cuba. Played on the catch and the kick. Turned down the open three, going down the middle. Ball's knocked away. They're just about hanging on. Garcia shakes, spins to the far side, kicks. The open three is not good. And a lot of movement without really breaking down the defense. Transition defense, exceptional for Puerto Rico on that play. Got back and protected it. And Chio just knocks it down. They just keep hanging around. At some point, Puerto Rico are going to get a run, and at the moment, being 4 down could really put them in the ascendancy. Turnover, chance for Puerto Rico to run the other way. Super finish. Romero with the steal. He's doing everything at the moment. Morales gets the 2. Romero gets the steal. That's timeout for Cuba. They want to talk it over. Let's take a listen to Coach Plananes. Cuba just have to re-establish what was working. And what was working was their defense and getting points in transition. They haven't generated as many turnovers in this third quarter as they did at any stage in the first half. And they've had to play half-court basketball, and Puerto Rico have just worked their way back in. When you're struggling, what do? You go to Mencia, there's a whistle. Capos is going to be charged with a personal. When you need something, Yoenki Mencia is your man. Whether he creates to pass or creates to score, he has been a handful all night. He releases out of bounds. Needs a pass. Oof, almost turned it over. Really loose on the pass. 5 on the possession. Athea steps back for the long 2. Doesn't hit anything. Romero gets the rebound. Great pass. Oh, super follow by Capos. Breakaway layup missed, and we've got a new ball game. That'll do it for the end of 3. They've finally leveled it up, finally got over the hump. Super defensive effort. Romero's just vision exceptional. There's confirmation of where we are after 3. 58 apiece. We've got a new ball game. And if there's a team with momentum, it's Puerto Rico, because Cuba have just taken all the pace and intensity out of their performance. 52% for 2 from Cuba, only 22 from 3, but they've still put up 18 threes. Let's take a look at the best plays of the third quarter and expect this man to be all over him. Romero with a jump hook early. He's not having a great night from the free throw line. He doesn't often have great nights from the free throw line, but he is having a performance. Defensively, he's been exceptional. Offensively, he's just made tough shots in traffic. And the decision by Coach Gonzalez to go big with Arnaldo Toro alongside Ishmael Romero has really changed the shape of the game. Coaches often criticized, but when they get it right, they really should deserve the plaudits. Well, there's the courtside 1891 QR code. Download the app. Get all the information, all the live action, all the highlights. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, the app's there for you. Puerto Rico, having tied the game at 58, will have the possession at the start of the fourth quarter. They would love to get out of Cuba with the win. Love to give themselves a 2-2 record going into the last competition window. Gandia gets his first action of the second half. Had a big positive impact in the first. Finds himself in the corner. Looks to attack the closeout. 5 on the possession. He's going to have to put up the tough one. And draws the foul. Leaning away in the corner. No reason to foul him at all. But Ivan Gandia will step to the free throw line to give Puerto Rico the lead for the first time in a very, very long time. Knocks down the second. .60-58 is the correct scoreline. Puerto Rico showing the 2-3 zone, trying to again take the pace out of the game. The 3 is good. If you're patient and you get in the gaps, got to back yourself from the free throw line. Casero knocks down the 3. And now the foul by Garcia. Intense there for Cuba to pick that intensity up, get the physicality moving again, but 2 really poor fouls at the start of this. And Garcia picks up his 4th. The 3 is no good. Toro's on the glass, keeps it alive. Super effort. Capos moves it on. Super little stop and pop. Pacheco knocks it down, really exploded, got collected himself, and then just extended to knock down the 2. This one's going all the way. Ibrahim Echevarria steps on the sideline. It's Cuba's turn to start turning the ball over. Puerto Rico with the 1-point lead. The great news for Puerto Rico, 15 turnovers in the first half, 1 in the third quarter. Back in the game, up 1, giving themselves the opportunity. Pacheco, tough one, leans, doesn't get it to go. Defensive rebound, hauled in, chance to run. Cuba again don't get the same numbers down the floor they did in the first half. Skip. Chavarria going baseline, pushing foul. Cuba will have it on the baseline. Down one with the ball, 7:40 remaining. All he had to do was get his baseline foot on the baseline, and he would have been fine. Casero. 10 on the possession. Looks to break it down. Goes with the left hand. Super finish. Great composure. Soft touch off the window. Wow, they're milking this little pull-up area on the right side. Deep in the corner, the three is short. Puerto Rico with a chance to run. Gandia will work the maths out. It doesn't look good. Get into the half court. What's working is what's worked. Stay with it. They go high. It's a super pass. Toro off the glass for two. The bigs just dominant for Puerto Rico. Well, the lean away two is way short. They keep it alive. And Bombino will go to the free throw line. Could have gone really hard to try and throw it down or finish powerfully. Tried to go to the far side of the ring. Now he's got to make it from the free throw line. Misses the first. %70 free throw shooter across his career so far. 1 for 2. Brings Cuba within 2. Capos will move it on. Gandia looks underneath, doesn't like the option. Morales, far side of the ring, too easy. Gets to the far side of the ring, simple reverse layup. Ball fake to the pull up on the foul line, and the tempo is just Puerto Rican tempo. And Cuba just cannot impose the way they want to play. Puerto Rico opening out the lead with the basketball. Up 4, drops it inside on the bounce pass. Turnover. Numbers down the floor now for Cuba. Garcia, feet set, fills it up from deep, brings them within 1. First time in a long time they have got out and run. 18 points personal for Garcia. Crowd getting back into it. Mid-range 2. Copas just drops it. Capos just stroked it. No one put a hand up. No one got into his eye line. Garcia moves it on. Being for 3. Either that's a tired or a poor decision. He's been absolutely unstoppable around the ring. Opportunity for Puerto Rico. Drop it inside to Toro again. They go handoff. Gandia has it. Tries to break the defense down. Draws it. Morales with the mid-range 2 is good. And we said all along that they would get a run. And this is that run time now. Opening out a 5-point lead. Garcia settles for the 3, way short. No one else touched the basketball. It's almost the complete opposite of that first half when Cuba were dominant, really trying to open out the lead, and were opening out the lead. Gandia turns the corner, goes upstairs, ball's knocked away. Opportunity for Cuba in transition. Another good job by Puerto Rico defensively to get back. Bombino can't control the pass. Cuba led this by 11 at one point. And they'll trail it by 5. Ismael Guerrero checks back in. Size becomes the name of the game again for Puerto Rico. Marcus Cachon steps in for Cuba. Bombino is the release, moves it on. Caceres has it. Needs a pass, he has nowhere to go. Wraps it down. They have to take the tough lean away too, is no good. Romero's all over the glass. (14-12) Romero. Has it on the inside. Gets away with a little walk, goes to the right hand. Toro, the partner on the inside, comes up with the offensive rebound. Romero goes back up. Toro's all over it. 1 on 4 on the glass. He almost gets it, but can't come up with it. Toro and Romero just causing havoc. Garcia is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. 2:58, under 3 minutes remaining. Yet another game in these Continental Cup windows going right down to the wire. You just gotta love national team basketball. Means so much. The level is so high. Referees want to talk about it. All Ronaldo Garcia wants to do is stroke the free throws. Garcia can't connect with the first. What worked for Cuba early? Physicality defensively, trying to create offense from their defense. Got to give some credit here to Coach Gonzalez, as well as going big. He's put the zone on the floor at the right time. Timeout called. .258 remain. Puerto Rico take the timeout. I don't think they need to change anything here. They just need to close out the game. They've done the hard work. They've got over the hump. 11-point deficit. Now they lead by 4 with the basketball. Big third quarter by Puerto Rico to get them right back in the game, and they've continued on. A 37-26 second half swing for Puerto Rico. (20-12) on the glass in this second half. The size that Coach Gonzalez has put on the floor is a huge factor. Gandia trying to close this game out. Romero is the reversal man, goes back to Gandia. That's a big screen. He breaks it down to the foul line, puts up the floater and one. Super execution coming out of the timeout. Well, they started this game so flat, Puerto Rico. Coach Gonzalez looked at different options for him. Gandia came in the first half. That was the first time they looked like they had tempo, looked like they were engaged in the game. Since then, they've been by far the better unit. They now lead it by 7. Cuba backs to the wall right now. Garcia, got to get away from the traffic. 4 on the clock, gonna have to put a tough one up. Gets in the lane, and a 24-second violation. Couldn't have come at a better time for Puerto Rico. They could make this a double-digit lead with 2:14 to go. It becomes their game to lose. Jose Barrera, one of the legends of Puerto Rican basketball, and there are many. Stellar NBA career. Major part of the national team. The 3, we got a double-digit lead. Gandia has just taken over the little floater and then the 3. And out of nowhere, Puerto Rico, who trailed for the majority of the game, now lead this by 10. Timeout for Cuba, 1:59 to go. There is time, but not a lot of it. .80 run at the sharp end of the game, right in the middle of that right now. 35 points off the bench of Puerto Rico. Highlighted before the game how productive the bench was in relation to Cuba's bench. And how important was the ejection of Howard Samros. Arguably their most experienced player internationally, be it club or country. Not there now to try and close out this game for Cuba. Gandia stops, pops the 3 after floating the 2 the possession before. Cuba on the sideline. Get a quick one, get a stop, get a quick one, and it's getting its game on. Mencia for 3, drops it. There's the quick one. Romero needs a pass, hands it off. Gandia has it, gets a little contact, ball goes out of bounds. They'll turn it over. They wanted the foul, but didn't get it. Huge possession right now. Seven-point game. Plenty of time. Straight down the lane for 2 is good. Make that a 5-point game. Still over a minute remaining. Gandia needs the basketball. At the moment, he doesn't have it. But Chico had it. Now it's with Romero. This is where it needs to be. Gandia's hands. They try and space the floor. Puts it on the floor. Stops, steps through. Little floater. Lina doesn't get it. Romero's on the glass. Romero gets fouled, will be going to the free throw line. He hasn't gone 2 from 2 all night. The great thing that he has to focus on is he's on the line because he out-rebounded and outworked everybody. If he makes one of these, it makes it a 6-point game. If he makes both, it's a 3-possession game. Makes the first, it's the first free throw he's made all night. Chance to go 2 for 2. The biggest factor in the game is Ismael Romero. Just had a super game. The longer it's gone on, the more impactful he has been. But he goes 1 for 2. Two-possession game, but that's 2 threes. Well, a step back for the 3. Doesn't get it to drop. That's a huge effort on the glass. But Toro was big enough and strong enough. Romero gets it, gives it up. He's under the basket. They turn him down. They're going to use every single second of the shot clock. Rice off the glass, doesn't get it to go. Ball ends up in the hands of Fernandez. This has been a monumental performance by Puerto Rico. Out of sorts, 11 down. Turning the ball over 15 times in the first half. Whatever Carlos Gonzalez said in the half, it worked. The change of structure to the lineup, going with the 2 bigs, with Leonardo Toro and Ismael Romero, has just paid dividends. "26 rebounds between Toro and Romero. 7 of those offensive. Absolute dominance on the glass for Puerto Rico. It's been the foundation of the win. Cuba will take a timeout with 9.4 seconds remaining. Perhaps a little too little too late, but let's not take anything away from what Coach Gonzalez and Puerto Rico have done in this second half. Changed the shape of the game. Really emphasized getting touches for Toro and specifically for Romero. The zone helped. The zone really did again slow down the tempo of Cuba. The loss of Sam Ross, we can only speculate the impact of that. But what we don't have to speculate on is the performance of Puerto Rico. They have it on the sideline, down 8. Stepped on the sideline. Inbound, caught it, stepped on the sideline, Casero. (46-31). Second half performance by Puerto Rico. Been a phenomenal performance. They take a timeout with 7.9 seconds to go. Now, points difference could become a factor, so let's not give them too hard a time here for taking the timeout with 7 seconds to go. If they get they get to a 10-point lead and the points difference means they qualify or don't qualify, and you can understand why they're doing it. Puerto Rico in the next competition window will be at home to Cuba again and the United States. It's not too outrageous to say that could give them the opportunity to win the group. And that would leave Bahamas and Cuba in a straight fight for the last qualification slot. But that's thinking a long way ahead. Months away, February. They're going to go upstairs. Well, they got it there and they couldn't finish the play. The chance to close the margin on the buzzer is no good. And Puerto Rico have come back from 11 down to win this by 8. Howard San Ross was ejected in the second half for a second, well, one technical and one unsportsmanlike foul. But the final score here in Havana sees Puerto Rico win 81-73 on the road. And that Coach Gonzalez has to take a lot of the credit for. Changes made at the half completely changed the complexion of the game. 15 turnovers in the first half. Became 19 turnovers on the game. Super comeback by Puerto Rico. It's still all to play for. But there's a lot of teams around each other, within a game of each other, going into the final window. Any win is a big win in national team basketball, in AmeriCup basketball, but a win on the road is worth its weight in gold. And Puerto Rico have just got a big road win. As we said during commentary, one of the 5 countries in the world where basketball is the #1 sport. And that will be very well received back in Puerto Rico. The crowds will come to the last 2 games when they're at home to celebrate qualifying for the AmeriCup. They'd love to do that with a win over the United States. And another win over Cuba. Here are the numbers. Nowhere near as important as 73 and 81. But Puerto Rico shooting 35 from the 3-point line compared to 20% for Cuba. Dominance on the glass, 44-32. Both teams shared the ball really well. Cuba had those steals early. But in the end, the control of the backboards was the decisive factor. Bombino had another super game, 20 points personal with Garcia at 19 and Mencia at 16. But the difference being Puerto Rico scored off the bench. They got more scorers from more areas on the floor, and that became vital. Let's take a look at the best plays of the 4th quarter. The plays that saw Puerto Rico find their range from the mid-range down in this part of the court on the right-hand side. But also when Gandia came into the game, they controlled tempo so incredibly well. The insertion of more size for Puerto Rico, as we keep emphasizing, was important, but that also helped them control the tempo. The game became a much slower game in the second half, a much more half-court, much more controlled game. Puerto Rico technically enjoyed that far better than the first half, where it was up and down and spread. So that's a tremendous comeback by Puerto Rico. Going to get a chance to see how that affects the standings in this group. The United States will play later, but at the moment, Puerto Rico go to 2-2 and a joint top, but have it on the fact they have beaten Cuba. The United States and Bahamas currently playing. And the impact of that, if the United States win, is they will go top. And both Cuba and Puerto Rico have a game clear on Bahamas in the race for the top 3 slots in this group. Excellent, tremendous performance by Puerto Rico. Proud of their basketball status, and they played proud of their basketball status in that second half. Super performance. Tempo control, ball control, shots they wanted. It became a Puerto Rico type of game that they were more suited. And that puts them top of the group, currently ahead of the result between the United States and Bahamas. So a happy Puerto Rican roster